Hello and welcome back to Somewhere in Wisconsin. Hope you all are doing well. It is almost time to get back into our tree stands, into our duck blinds, and get after all those wild animals we like to chase in the fall. Well, today, a little cooking episode. I'm going to give my first ever beef brisket on the Green Mountain Pellet Grill a try. But on that note, here we go. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. And I hope you stick around to the end to get some taste tests. I'm looking forward to doing my first beef brisket. I bought about an 8-pound brisket from Costco, and I started just by kind of trimming some of the fat off, especially on the fatty side. And then after I trimmed some of that fat off, I seasoned it with a rub, and I will link the directions to the rub right down below. It's a pretty good rub. I used it on some other beef and things like that before, so you can give that a try if you would like. On that note, let's go ahead and finish getting this beef brisket prepared for tomorrow. Tomorrow I will cook it on the pellet grill, I think anywhere between 6 and 8 hours. Gotta do a little more research on that. They said to wrap it. I think they just wrap it in saran wrap. I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do or not. You guys can comment down below if I'm doing this all wrong. Never done a brisket before. So I've wrapped it in some saran wrap. It will stay in this saran wrap overnight. And then tomorrow, about 8 hours before our party that we have going on, I will get this started on the pellet grill. So I'm looking forward to it. The rub I just put on, I doubled my rub for this 8-pound and I got about that much left. So I'll put the recipe for this down below, but if you're gonna do an 8-pound brisket, you probably would want to double the recipe, the rub. That's my rub, that's wrapped, it's my brisket. I'm looking forward to get this on the pellet grill tomorrow. Never done it before, kind of risky to do it for a big party, but it is what it is, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get this in the fridge in a aluminum foil pan and let it sit overnight. And that's that for now. Alright guys, I made an audible. So I think I'm going to cook this overnight tonight. It's been sitting in the fridge wrapped up for about 6 hours now. Pulled it out of the fridge so that it can kind of get to room temperature here, so it's kind of warming up, so to speak. And that rub is looking good in there right now. So, with that being said, I'm going to throw this on the grill in about an hour and 15 minutes. That'll put me at about midnight. I'm going to put it on at about 185 for 6 hours tonight while I'm sleeping. I'll wake up at 6 a.m., turn it up to about 225 to get that temperature at 160 so we can finish this brisket off. So that's kind of the plan for tonight. Hopefully get a little more video when we get it on the grill and it's smoking. I just mixed together some hickory and cherry pellets for this brisket. I had a little bit of each bag left over, so I went and bought another bag of each, and then that's just kind of what I mixed today. Hickory and cherry are both good for beef. It's just what I had, so that's what I'm using for this smoke. Alright guys, here's the deal. We're super smoky in here, but got that meat probe buried in the thickest part of the meat, deep in the middle. Got the fatty side down, and the process begins now. We're connected. We gotta go to our profiles, the beef brisket, confirm. We're rolling. We're on part 1. Alright, about 6.5 hours since I put this brisket onto my pellet grill. I'm at an internal temp right now of 157 degrees, and I'm going to pull it off at 160. I cooked it at 185 all night long, and then I woke up about 5:45 this morning and cranked it up to 225 just to finish off the last few degrees. The recipe actually called for cooking it at 225. I just did it at 185 because I knew that I would be letting it kind of cook or sit overnight. So when I woke up this morning, I think it was at 142. So I've gone from 142 to 160 here in the last hour or so at 225. So I'm going to pull it off here in just a few minutes. I'm going to put it onto the aluminum foil, wrap it in aluminum foil, and then I'm going to throw it back on the pellet grill until the internal temp hits around 198, 199. At that point it'll be done. It's just going to go in the cooler and sit until we have people over this afternoon. So it'll sit probably for 1 to 3 hours depending on how long it takes to finish in the cooler. Once it's in the cooler, it's basically ready to go. We just gotta keep it warm in there. So that's kind of the plan for the rest of this brisket. I hope it tastes good. It smells good for sure. So I'll show you guys what it looks like after 6.5 hours in the smoke here in just a minute. One thing I was kind of surprised about is the number of pellets I used overnight. I really didn't use that many pellets. I had my little, I think it's called a hopper. I had that thing full right to the top, and I only used this many pellets last night, and it's been running for what, like 6.5 hours. So I thought I would go through at least one full bag of pellets, but I've probably only gone through like 1/10 of a bag of pellets. Alright, meat is at 159, so I'm gonna go ahead and open it up, pull it out. The smoke is really just piping out of there right now, so let's go ahead and open this up. So it is about 8:30 a.m. It actually only took about 2 hours to get to 198. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to unstick where my heat probe is and just kind of stick it in one other spot, make sure that we're thoroughly cooked, and then I'm going to throw it into the cooler to sit until it's time to eat. Alright y'all, here is the deal. I finished the beef brisket. It tasted delicious yesterday. However, I forgot to film myself cutting it up at the party. So what I did today was I made a little beef brisket sandwich with the leftovers. It's actually pretty darn tasty. The brisket turned out great. Had a really nice smoke ring on it. I ended up cooking this beef brisket at 185 degrees for about 9.5 hours total. Sounds like a lot of work. The actual cooking part wasn't that hard. I made that dry rub, which I'll put in the description down below. Rubbed it all over the brisket. Bought some Traeger hickory and cherry pellets. Threw them in the hopper, and the meat really did. It turned out perfect. It was tender. Or after I cooked it for 9.5 hours, it ended earlier than I thought it was going to. I took it out of the grill at 9:30, put it in the cooler right away, just let it sit in its juices. I took it out of the cooler like 5 hours later. Actually, I took it out of the cooler 6 hours later, and it was still over 165 degrees in temperature on the meat. So I served it just like that. So what I did today was I just mixed a little garnish on it, and then what the heck's wrong with this guy weed whacking? I'm trying to eat my sandwich in front of you all right now, and he's over here whacking weeds, killing me. Yeah, so I put a little garnish on there, a little hickory barbecue sauce, and then just the meat, and it turned out really good. Trying to have a little peace and quiet. I don't know what's going on. This neighborhood. Delicious. Camera died. Sorry, guys. Anyways, I was saying that sandwich was delicious. Didn't even realize the camera died until after the fact. On that note, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or tips right down below in the comments. I'm Chase. We're somewhere in Wisconsin, and we'll see you next time.